Welcome to Harvest, where we connect the farmer and the soil to your food. And through those stories, we spotlight our amazing Midwest culture. I'm your host, Renee Kelly. And today we are at Farrar Family Farm.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
That's My Farm. It's brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
And today we are at Farrar Family Farm. And behind us are these beautiful grass-fed cows. So welcome to the show. This is Gabe and Katie. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. We're so excited.
You are so far away from Kansas City. Where are we exactly?
We're in Adrian, Missouri. It's about an hour south of Kansas City.
Okay, so maybe not that far, but it is beautiful. Yeah. So you guys do grass-fed beef, you do hogs, and you do chickens, you do chicken eggs. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of definitely a fully operational farm. So grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Why do you guys do that?
Well, the reason behind all of this actually started because we saw some documentaries. We mostly watched Joel Salatin, and he really made a lot of sense when he was talking about, cows don't need to eat grain. They're herbivores. They graze. They're just like the buffalo a long time ago. They were plains animals. They graze, and so there's no reason to add that as an intervention. So we just strictly feed them. Like you see, this is all they do all day.
If I was a cow out here, I would be pretty darn happy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Now, do you sow anything into the fields besides just the naturally occurring grass?
Yeah.
Ever? I've heard of some people doing some turnips.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah, so we do in our crop ground, we've sowed in pearl millet, turnips, radishes, hairy vetch, things like that. So with those cover crops, we're building soil health as well as feeding our animals, and we can produce good grass-fed beef year-round by implementing those in the summer seasons when grasses aren't as good and things like that.
Now, does that change the meat? Because I know that I like grass-fed beef because it is a leaner piece of meat. Yeah. But does that change the flavor, using the turnips, or does it change their fat level?
I think it definitely does.
It does, actually.
Yeah, they gain really well on it. It produces a really good marbling, a nice deep yellow fat, the grass-fed fat, not a typical white fat.
How much longer does it take from birth to butcher than maybe a corn finished?
Right. So we've been able to do it in anywhere from 18 to 20 months is a typical, birth to butcher date for us, which is, I think, pretty good for grass-fed.
Okay. And typically for corn finish, it's a little bit shorter, right?
Right. Anywhere from 12 to 14 months, I would think.
Okay. Now, do you have fun rotating the cattle? I have images of me, as a little girl, herding cattle. I always thought that would be fun, but I'm assuming it's a little.
It can be fun.
It can be fun.
It can be tricky. You just have to know what you're doing.
Yeah. So you rotate them just a little bit.
Mm-hmm,
Okay. And are there certain seasons that you rotate the cattle, or does it matter? Once they're finished with the field, you're like, all right, let's get going.
Yeah. Wintertime grasses die, so you have to keep that into account. We always tell people we're still grass-fed finished even in the winter when grass isn't growing.
Okay.
So you have to pre-plan a lot for that. You think during the summer when you're growing your hay, you have to make sure you're cutting enough hay to last your whole herd through the winter so that they're not being fed grain at all during the winter. So they still are grass-fed. You just really have to think the season before, what do I need to do to prepare for that?
So it's like pickling, but for cows.
Yeah.
This is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So we are going to take a little tour of your farm right after this.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. Summer is busy at Tarwater Farm and Home. We have just about everything you'll need for your summer projects, and we're consistently competitively priced. Tarwaters can help make your grass and garden grow. And we have a huge variety of equipment to cut it. If you have a farm, Tarwaters has the products and equipment to keep it going strong. And our expanded parking lot will make it even more convenient to shop. So come see us at Tarwater Farm and Home in Topeka.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to western Kansas.
That's My Farm. It's brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
So we have, typically we are running Black Angus, Red Angus, and Gelbvieh. And we also have a few Belgian Blues, which are a European breed. Not very common in the States, but they you can find them here. But they actually have a different muscle structure than normal beef. The muscle fibers are a lot shorter, and that produces a much more tender meat.
I was going to say, probably much easier to eat, much easier to use. So the Belgium is like the one or two kind of like white.
Correct. Yeah. The white with
cows that
black
you have.
specks on them. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how did you come about this? You were just thinking of like a way to kind of, come up with a more tender grass-fed, grass-finished.
Yeah, I think
meat?
we actually just kind of stumbled on it. We were looking for sources to find, steers that we could finish out grass-fed that, we could get from a reliable source. And Dad found the guy that had this breed, and we just got to talking to him, and it made sense. So we're trying them out.
Have you had any results yet, or are you still kind of waiting?
Yes, yeah, we have, and it is definitely more tender.
Okay.
They don't produce as much marbling, so it's hard to get a good flavor in it. But we're going to try and blend that with the Angus to meet the marbling and the short muscle fiber to get a good beef.
Oh, so flavor and texture, tenderness, all of that in your grass-fed, grass-finished beef.
Yeah.
I love it. And you calve here, so you breed here, you calve here, you raise here, all that stuff. And there's these two huge bulls that are over there.
Gentle giants, really.
Living the dream. With their own pond and everything. And you guys you'll bring the bulls over to this pen.
Right, middle of June, about that way we can expect to start our calving season middle of April.
Okay.
And we like to calve our cows the same time like the deer are fawning, that just mimicking nature and when is the right time of season.
I think that sounds smart. I mean, why not?
We put a calf in a bathtub one time in the middle of February, and we thought, I don't think I want to do that again.
No,
Not a good time to do that.
No, you have to keep them all warm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, absolutely wonderful. We will be back with some more from Farrar Family Farm after this.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn. for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
And we're back at Farrar Family Farms in the chicken coop. And this little lady lays the blue eggs that are so delicate and delicious. Now, what breed is she?
This is an Arcana, and they come in all different colors. They usually will have on their face here, it's called a beard. So you won't see that with normal chickens. They also have a shorter comb on the top, but there's all different colors, and they'll lay bluish, greenish, sometimes purplish eggs, so it's pretty cool actually.
So really, there's no need to dye Easter eggs
Nope.
during the holidays. Oh my gosh, how cool. Okay, well, I'm gonna let this little girl go. She's so cute. Oh, she's beautiful.
Aren't they pretty?
Okay, so obviously this is your egg laying coop.
Yes.
How many chickens do you have?
Let's see, probably about 100, maybe 90 right now.
Yep.
We've lost a few to some hawks and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah. And how often do you collect eggs?
Every day. We've got our basket. We can do that in a little bit.
I would love to pick some eggs up. That would be great.
Definitely.
Now, you live out in the country.
Yes.
So what are modes to kind of protect the chickens?
Well, you can use an electric poultry net, but it's adds to your chores when you move the chickens. We rotate our chickens basically every day, so we follow our cattle.
Okay.
So as we move the cattle through the pastures, about 3 days later, we'll bring the chickens through, and the chickens will actually clean up the cow pies, eating all the fly larvae, and the flies are a big pest problem and can carry disease to the cattle. So the chickens actually help us.
So they go through and take out those bugs.
Right. So the chickens actually help us keep our cattle healthy.
And they spread the cow pies too, which will help fertilize the pasture.
Because of their little feet. They can just claw right through that.
Right.
Okay, so I'm getting the gist that all of your animals help out each other animal.
Right.
They just don't know that they're doing it.
Right. Yep. They're all connected, and they're all building soil. They're all making the grass stronger.
Leaving it better than how we found it, basically.
That would be something called sustainable, right?
Right.
Oh,
Leaving it better, leaving it better than what we started with. That's awesome. Now, you have pasture-raised birds and grass-fed, but not vegan chicken eggs, and you obviously see the difference with the yolks.
Right.
And what is your best advice for people that are looking at those labels for their eggs and their chicken, and you're just like, is it just to know their farmer?
Yeah, get to know farmers, pick up from farmers on farm or at markets.
So if that's what they're looking for, if they're looking for an egg from a chicken that lives out here, then pasture raised is probably a safe label to look for.
Right.
Awesome. Well, we'll be right back in just a couple.
My name's Karen Cope, and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. After stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before. Because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards, and to be able to win at cards. They all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? Where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
I'm Sarah, and this is my husband, Travis.
We both grew up working on family ranches, me in Northern California and Travis in Kansas. We met in college, got married, and took corporate jobs in the beef industry. But soon we realized we missed the production side of the industry.
So we made the daring move to start our own cattle business in southeast Kansas while also starting our family.
Watch our story and the stories of other young Kansas food producers at kansaslivingmagazine.com/meetafarmer.
This Medford, New Jersey school bus runs on biodiesel, and so do these. In fact, all of these buses run on clean-burning biodiesel, which is great because the more we use biodiesel in our heavy-duty vehicles, the less carbon pollution in our air. Think how great it would be if more of our school buses ran on biodiesel. More biodiesel, less carbon pollution. More is less. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
You don't have to be a farmer or rancher to become a Kansas Farm Bureau member. Anyone can join. As a member, you'll get discounts on things like hotels and entertainment, health and wellness services, cell phone plans, and more. You'll also strengthen the lives of your fellow Kansans and help build strong, prosperous communities through agriculture advocacy and education. Join us today. Visit kfb.org/join to learn more.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
And we're back at Farrar Family Farms and a little bit more pig talk. How long from birth to butcher for hogs? They're a little bit different, obviously, than cows. They're a lot smaller.
They definitely are, but they do grow really fast. From birth to butcher, you can have them ready in about 8 to 10 months.
Wow, so completely different.
Right, you can...
8 months, 18 months.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
We
Wow.
actually don't breed our pigs. We buy them as piglets and raise them. And so if you wanted to, you could even buy them in spring and butcher them before winter so that you don't have to overwinter them, which does add a lot of chores to your work.
Yes, I would assume so, coming all the way down here in the middle of winter.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Now, is there a specific reason why you go ahead and buy your piglets as opposed to just birthing them here? Or is it just...
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, we've looked at the cost, and this is really just our second year doing it, and so for the kind of the input and what goes into that, it's really not reasonable for us at this point to manage having a mom and having her farrow out and do all of that stuff.
It's a whole different set of how to raise a hog.
Exactly.
Right, so instead of feeding the mom for a whole year to get a litter out of her, it's about the same cost just to buy piglets.
Oh, wow. Okay, now at what age do you receive the piglets?
Typically right at weaning, so somewhere between 30 to 40 pounds. It's probably between a month to 2 months.
Okay, so these little guys...
These guys are about 35
These are about
pounds.
30 pounds. The small ones are about 30 pounds, and they were just weaned probably, right when we bought them at auction.
And they've only been on your farm for 2 weeks,
About
3
a week
weeks?
and a half.
Almost a week and a half, yeah.
Almost a week and a half.
They just learned the electric, so then they graduated to the big paddock.
Okay, yes, that's imperative. They need to stay in.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Now, after you butcher them, what types of products do you offer? Do you use sausage?
Yeah.
Like
it's
pork
endless.
steaks?
Yeah, so ham steaks, hams, bacon, obviously bacon.
Yeah.
We do a lot of really great sausages. Pork chops, obviously. Tenderloin.
Lard.
Yeah.
We use all of it that we can.
You use the whole animal, which is great.
Actually,
Organs. Yeah.
That's good. Now, where do you sell? Do you sell to a lot of restaurants? I know we're going to go see Chef Kyle at Blue Cross and Blue Shield in a little bit, but do you sell to a lot of chefs, or is it more mail order or farmers markets?
Yeah.
For us, it's mostly farmers markets, and we've built up a little bit of a clientele, a little bit of a following, and so we actually do deliveries. People just email orders, and we have certain delivery dates, and we meet up with people. But I would say the bulk of our sales is at farmers markets.
Okay, wonderful. So, at a farmer's market near you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All right, we'll be back with more from Farrar Family Farm.
Welcome to our Bar B, 8,000 plus square feet Western store with something for everyone in the family. We have boots, belts, hats, jeans, anything you could want to outfit you and your horse. Come visit our line of saddles. We have 400 plus new and used saddles in stock. We offer tack, grooming supplies, headstalls, breast collars, you name it, we've got it for you and your horse. That's our Bar B, 1 mile east of Highway 4 on Northeast 39th. Our Bar B, where Western is a way of life.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Fort Wallace was the fightingest fort in the West. Fossils, Indians, soldiers, scouts, wagons, trails, pioneers, stories. Discover the story of Fort Wallace and the people who served here, the people who fought here, the people who settled here. Wallace County, where the past is present.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandring with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
That's My Farm is brought to you in part by Tallgrass Commodities. Big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Welcome back. We are at the Farrar Family Farm, and these are some different chickens. These are your meat chickens, right?
They are, yep.
And they're completely different.
Completely different.
Like, they even sound different. So, and I noticed that these guys are in cages. How do you pick them up and move them every morning, or how do your chickens eat?
All right. Well, we do feed them non-GMO feed every morning and evening, but we also move the pen every morning to where they get fresh forages, so they can, get all their greens and bugs and things like that. And the way we do that is we just slip a dolly under one end, and we go grab the wire on the other and just drag it. And the birds will just walk with us.
They just totally walk with you.
Yep, they're excited for that new greens and all the new stuff. They're hungry, they're ready to move. So as we pull them, they run up to the front and go eat. Yeah.
They just kind of know
They're
that
hungry.
there's a new buffet awaiting.
Right,
if they will just pick themselves up and walk with you.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but once they get it, they're excited for it.
How long to raise your chickens?
So we get these in the mail as day-old chicks, and we butcher them at 8 weeks.
Okay, so not very long at all.
Not long at all.
Quick turnaround.
How long have you had your farm?
My parents have had the property for 10 years.
Okay.
And we've kind of been doing it as a business for about 4 years.
Okay, now did it take you those additional 6 years to kind of get the land ready and prepare it for all of this? I mean, you have 400 acres.
Right. Dad started this hobby farming, and we both had other jobs, and we just felt called that we needed to be back here, and this is where we wanted to be. So with building up the farm and putting in fences and redigging ponds and things like that, and just the timing of it, we just came back and started our business and started doing this.
Okay, so you do grass-fed, grass-raised beef.
Yep.
You do hogs that are super happy.
Yep. Forest-raised hogs.
Forest-raised hogs, I like that. Nibbling and gnashing on pecan trees.
Right.
Just pecans. And then you do your beautiful eggs. They're even blue. And you also do meat chickens.
Right.
So every single animal helps every other animal, which I think is really, really cool. And you guys are really young to just dive into this whole entire thing.
Yeah, it was a big leap we took, but we felt called to do this, and we have not looked back. I mean, we've been blessed through the entire thing, and leaving our desk job 9 to 5, which we weren't happy with, so we made a change.
Well, you have a beautiful property out here. It's absolutely wonderful. We thank you so much for sharing your farm with us. And we're going to take some of your products to Chef Kyle at Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We're gonna cart them up and take them into the city with you. But thank you so much for being on Harvest, and thank you for joining us at Farrar Family Farms. We'll see you next time.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.